What's up, guys? It's Celtic here once again doing another Marvel Legends Infinite Series figure review on the Marvel series Avengers Marvel's Hawkeye from the Build-A-Figure All-Father Wave. This is a really interesting character and also another awesome figure. Really like how this character or this figure came all together. Really nicely done. I love the articulation; it's just amazing. I noticed that like they kind of reused certain parts of other figures in the previous waves or in the previous molds, but it was really not a big issue. That's what makes this guy absolutely fantastic. But before we go more in depth of this figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging. Packaging is typical as always from the last one from Miss Marvel, only except it has the Avengers logo right there. It has Infinite Series Marvel Hawkeye. On the side, you got a nice interesting picture of Hawkeye there. And the other side, pretty much the same as well. Then on the back, you got the rest of the other figures. Here's the All-Father. Gonna get my camera to zoom or to focus a lot more better. Let's just do that. There we go. Now we have all the rest of the figures on the wave. I'm really excited to get Thor next, or if not Scarlet Witch, then the rest. Well, I can just pick them up till later on if I'd be able to find them, since they are so difficult to get nowadays. And then here we got an interesting picture of Hawkeye. And then in the description, just a master archer. Hawkeye takes down evil from afar. And also, he has three different languages, and then all the languages I pretty much know is from Spanish, and the other two I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, that is just how the packaging is. And so let's just take a look at the other Build-A-Figure accessories that comes with. Comes with one Build-A-Figure part, which pretty much is a torso of Odin, which is pretty interesting. Got a nice pliable plastic of her skirt. Then the back, just like in one piece. See, he has a nice torso or air crunch. Shows right there, articulation, so it was really interesting. Can't wait to build him. I would attach a face, but then again, you have the arms and legs, so I will wait down until I get the further characters of this figure line. One of the two accessories are not like some sort of the typical equipment that Hawkeye comes with, is bow, which is a really interesting design. Trying to get this up close look of it, and let's see, let's get that focus. Yeah, really interesting, like how this bow is sculpted. I love it how it's nicely done from top to bottom. I mean, yeah, the paint application is kind of bland, which is some depth to it, maybe some black for this part of the stringy area. But good thing is made out of pliable plastic, so that way if it break anything like that. The other equipment with Hawkeye was this holster that carries, or I don't know what this thing is called to hold his arrows, but yeah, there he is with carrying a lot of arrows, a good amount of arrows, to be more precise. And it's unfortunate that we can't actually take out some of them, so that we could just plug into his hand, so that we get some nice poses and all that stuff. Though what I find it questionable is just like, why, I don't know why this part is so hollow in the back. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I mean, why can't I make this one solid piece and then this peg sticking out? But oh well. I mean, it's kind of really odd that you do that. But I like how this detail on this carrier of the bows, I mean, it's really interesting. Got the line sculpted there. Not too bad. Good amount of detail from top to bottom. How this lines are sculpted in this area, this section there. Then get my camera to focus. Get this a little more. There we are. But like I said, a nice line that's sculpted on the top of this carrier thing, as well as right there as well. Real interesting. Love the detail. And now let's take a closer look of Hawkeye. And it's just real interesting. Don't really much of a fan of the comic design of Hawkeye, but it's not too bad. Will probably start to grow onto me just little by little. Very interesting. I like how the H is sculpted on this top part of the masks there. How the guy's paint variation on the masks too. You got a nice dark purple or bluish type of paints, as well as how the line's sculpted to the back of his mask with nice clean purple paint applications to it. Now look at the scale design on this upper part of his chest thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's got nice sculpted lines. You can see how the noise it makes. It's real interesting. Kind of like a honeycomb-ish type design, but also kind of a scaly type, more like a scale type than honeycomb design. But real interesting. Then got all the sculpted part of his upper abs and all this stuff. Really muscular detail he has there in the back. It's continuation of this pliable part there, which kind of gets in the way of articulation, which will go more in depth once I talk about the articulation later on. But nice clean paint applications and design as well. Arm on this side, not so much. I mean, you got this somewhat sleeve there, the blue paint, as well as his gloves. Not much detail, just like very minor, not too bad. Kind of a feeling that this arm here, they kind of use it from the Winter Soldier mold there, which I'm not complaining. I mean, the armor is really nice and great, but nice design. Like how this paint application on this thing, which is really nicely done. Going on the bottom part of the figure, continuing how this, pretty simple design of this costume. Not much paint variation. Bottom there. You got this pliable skirt part on the both front and back, so it won't hinder articulation or anything like that. So it gives them pull some great poses, which I don't mind. And you got some boots here. Really, this is not really great. Sculpted lines there, very nicely done. Not much in part of laces. I mean, can't just like put a boot and then like tie it down. But oh well, it's just a figure. Not much going into detail. On the bottom, not so much. You got some peg holes there. Then the back of the boots, just nothing much there. So, not too bad. As I said earlier, the articulation is great, but there's other parts of the figure that kind of hinder it, which I'll go right now. His head can move up that far, not too much, but it's really, actually it goes more far up, which is interesting. Like that a lot. And his face can go that far down, really interesting. Does have a slight of a head pivot, not too bad. He does have a ab crunch, but again, since like these things got in the way, which is made of pliable plastic, it's really hard for him to give him a crunch there, and plus it doesn't really crunch forward as much as it should. But it's decent. I mean, crunch that far forward, but somehow from the previous molds they can go far back, but not in this case, because again, this thing kind of like hinders the articulation, so it's kind of a hit and miss right now. Moving that stuff right there. And arms will extend outward, and I think what I find interesting when I was toying around with this figure earlier is that got a ratchet joints of some sort. Like it doesn't ratchet when you go move forward, trying to do a 360 here, but in the back, got the nice tight ratchety joints. I would probably expect this a little more from Marvel Legends, like ratchet joints. Were really interesting and nice because that way I don't have to worry about these joints lower on his legs or anything like that to get loose, and there's no proper way to fix it, but there are ways. But I just don't like to fix figures as much, but maybe I will in time. But nonetheless, ratchet joints will be really nice addition to Marvel Legends if they continue or not. So his arms extend outward. He has an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend that far out. He has wrists rotate 360 degrees and go in and out. Doesn't have a waist joint. Well, actually, he doesn't have a waist joint. I apologize. So goes nice rotation left and right. His legs can go out that far back. He does an upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that bend that far. Is a little bit stiff on this guy. There we go. He has, unlike Captain Marvel, he has a nice boot rotation to go left and right. His feet can go up and down. Very nicely done. And it does have to go left and right. Can't go left and right because of boot rotation, but he does have a beautiful ankle pivot. Gotta love ankle pivots on these figures. Right, interesting. Size comparison. So here he is, Hawkeye compared to the Captain Marvel, which is not bad in scale. So I'm kind of interesting how the rest will be in scale in this wave. And I'm really kind of glad I picked these two up. Firstly, I kind of want to get Thor, but budget wise, I cannot even get him just yet. But overall, the wave is starting to get more interesting. With getting Thor and the rest of the other figures of this figure line. I'm kind of glad. They're releasing the Odin wave right now. Wave 2, I'm really definitely excited about, especially the more in really getting the Avengers of from Hasbro. But yeah, it's interesting. I kind of wish I had the previous Hawkeyes they released from Marvel Legends, but unfortunately I was kind of a little late and successful on getting it. But yeah, definitely a must get, especially if you love Hawkeye. I mean, who cannot love Hawkeye? He's a badass archer. I mean, he's just amazing. I just love it, and just the possibility. This guy's just incredible. I mean, just love it so much. The fun factor is through the roof with this guy. Definitely recommend getting him. Don't hesitate. Just simply get it. But yeah, that is my review of the Marvel Legends Hawkeye from the Build-A-Figure Odin the All-Father Wave series. Please rate and comment if you want to, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Until next time, see ya.